In this video, I'm going to give an in-depth breakdown on how to lose the gut for good, keep it off while eating more calories and eating more food. So in this video, I'm going to give a reference to a case study I have with one of my clients that I currently work with that we helped go from eating 1,600 calories a day to over 3,000 calories a day, and he was able to make this transformation right here and lose the gut for good, right? So in this video, I'm going to give you an in-depth breakdown of how to lose the gut for good, and I'm going to kind of give you a step-by-step tutorial on how we help Devin here lose his gut for good, right? So if you guys don't know me by now, my name's Adam. I'm an online fitness professional. I help career-driven men lose body fat, keep it off for good, get unstuck from fat loss plateaus using a mechanism of metabolism manipulation called metabolic priming. If you guys want to know a little bit more about me, there's going to be a video pinned on my profile, and there's going to be a couple asset resources linked in this description below. One with my free training course on metabolic priming, another one with a bunch of my client testimonials, and the third one with a application link to sign up for a time to sit down with me one-on-one, see if it's a good fit for the work together, see if I can help you, and if I can, I'll build you out some higher level strategy and show you what it look like to partner up. But the purpose of this video is to show you an in-depth breakdown on how to lose the gut, and I'm going to actually reference it to a real-life case study on how I helped Devin here lose his gut for good, eating more food, manipulating his metabolism to burn more calories, right? So let's get right into this video. So upon Devin starting to work with me, my initial consultation, I'm going to kind of run through it with you right now. His full day of eating was 2 eggs, 1 toast, patty, and his current calories were out 1,600. Right, 1,600 calories, 874 net intake, which means that he was burning a ton of calories, right? And he was eating 73 grams of protein, 171 grams of carbs, and 89 fat. He was doing way too much cardio, not eating enough, and we need to reset his metabolism and get him eating more protein before we start to lower his calories, right? So the purpose is that, one, I want to kind of break down where Devin was at with this current graph right here. So when Devin came to me, he was eating as low as 1,500. My chart doesn't even go that low. He was eating as low as 1,500 calories, and he was doing immense amounts of cardio, right? And over time, once you do an immense amount of cardio, your body will start to go over a form of adaptive thermogenesis, which actually lowers your body's input to actually burning calories and, slows your metabolism down, right? So it's a degradation process of the body to inhibit a survival mechanism in the body to lower the calories that you're burning because you're outputting so much, right? And with this, the body starts to accrue a ton of inflammation, right? Inflammation is bad because not only does it prohibit muscle tissue growth, but it restricts body fat loss, right? So upon my initial consultation, when Devin was doing, eating low amounts of calories and doing tons of cardio, I could tell that his body just looked very, very inflamed, right? His gut was kind of hanging out. His face kind of looked like it was a little bit inflamed. His body just looked very, very inflamed. So the first thing I wanted to do for Devin is I wanted to, one, get his body to, accrue less inflammation, decrease inflammation, right? And then also optimize digestion, right? Because we needed to do 2 things for Devin right off the bat. Really get his body to reduce a bunch of inflammation and get his body to optimize digestion, right? So when he came to me, the first thing I did with Devin is I cut his cardio to 0, right? Because when you are doing tons of cardio, you're not getting enough energy input, the body will start to adapt. It'll start to become fatigued. So he started his cardio at 0, right? And, just based upon the current depiction of what he's been doing and how he was kind of stuck in a fat loss plateau for a severe amount of time, not able to get rid of the gut, even after lowering calories, raising cardio, that was a direct depiction that over time that his metabolism had crashed, his BMR had crashed, right? So what we needed to do for Devin is we needed to get his BMR up and we needed to reduce a bunch of inflammation, right? So this was Devin when he came to me. He was 188 pounds. Here's the kind of graph that I'm going to reference in this video as well. And he was 181 pounds at 14% body fat, eating 1,600 calories, right? So over the course of time, and this is kind of where Devin checked in this week, 165 pounds, under 10% body fat, and he is currently eating 2,700 calories a day as of the 10th, last time we changed his calories, right? So, and then he obviously this is what he looks like now. Much tighter, much leaner, less inflammation, better digestion, right? And this is kind of the graph from yesterday that I pulled from his data, right? 165 as of yesterday, down 20 pounds, eating more food, right? So when we break down Devin's transformation, one, I had to reduce a bunch of inflammation, and improve a shit ton of digestion, right? Because if the digestion process gets backed up, one, part of the thermogenic process with food is the thermic effect of food, which affects digestion, right? So if Devin's not getting enough food to currently supply his BMR, which is 60% of your entire metabolism, but also not getting enough food to supply the thermic effect of food with a lower protein intake, we needed to fix that and improve digestion and introduce more carbohydrates in his diet to reduce inflammation, because carbohydrates are not only the macronutrient that will help reduce inflammation and repair, but it also reduces cortisol levels. So the insulin sensitivity with carbohydrates has a direct correlation to actually raise cortisol levels, right? Which is the stress hormone. If the body becomes very stressed and very inflamed, it'll not only hold on to body fat, but it will start to go catabolic and start to eat into muscle tissue. So the first thing we had to do was fix his macronutrients. Based upon, one, his goals, his time frame, his height, his age, his weight, his physical activity with his job. So what we did is we set him with a higher protein intake, right off the bat. What I wanted to do is set Devin with a higher protein intake, right? So doing this would automatically, one, increase digestion by simply increasing the thermogenic effect of food, right? So not only did we raise his protein intake to meet at a higher protein intake, but on the back end of things, we lowered his fat intake, right? So one, we gave Devin a 225-gram protein goal and then a 60-gram fat goal, which is one, will metabolize hormone levels, will metabolize your T3, because what fat does is typically it is the dial in not only the hunger but also the digestion, because it's a slower digesting macronutrient. More fat will decrease, the ability to digest, but also it will make you stop up a little bit because it's a slower digesting macronutrient with 8 calories per 1 gram. So what we need to do is we need to set him with a higher protein intake, with a higher thermogenic effect, lower the fat intake to improve digestion, but really nail the fat intake too to optimize hormonal response. Because what fat does, it affects T3, T4 metabolism, thyroid, and all the certain, hormonal responses in men specifically, even like testosterone, which obviously that's bad. We had to really nail the fat intake to improve digestion and improve hormonal levels, right? So we set him with a 225-gram protein goal and then a 60-gram fat goal, right? So when we pull up his, graph right here, I set him at 2,000 calories, right? Which one was about 400 calories more than he was already eating, but we really needed to get the body to not only burn more calories, but we needed to increase his metabolism, right? Increase his metabolism by actually introducing more food into his diet, but the correct macronutrients. Macronutrients are the most important thing in this entire process, because hitting that macronutrient goal with the protein intake and the fat intake, and then giving carbohydrates to stimulate a little bit more metabolic growth, metabolic health as in the form of raising his metabolism, but also reducing inflammation and reducing cortisol levels in his body. Right? Because, as you can see from Devin when he started with me, he looks very inflamed. His gut looks like it's kind of hanging out, and we needed to really reduce this inflammation and improve the digestion right off the bat, right? So over the course of time, we started to, one, raise Devin's calories. And I have Devin's progress photos right here. Here's where he came to me. So we started to slowly, over to the course of time, raise his calories, right? So within this process, every week when Devin checked in with me, I would update his macronutrients. I would give him updates macronutrients based upon the progress that he was making, right? So, for instance, in one week I would raise it about 200 calories. You can see right here. And we slowly started to work him up, right? And we'd watch his body weight. And we'd make sure that his body weight wasn't fluctuating. And as you can see, over the course of time, as we started to raise his calories, he started to lose weight. The inflammation started to subside, right? So over the course of time, went to 23 to 2,400 calories, 2,400 calories. Keep him here and start taking out some carbs in the next month for his vacation. All right. So we got him all the way up in his first metabolic priming phase to about 2,700 calories. Right. So we got him all the way up to about 2,700 calories, right about here. Keep in mind, he was doing no cardio, right? Now that we were able to get him up to 2,700 calories, get his body to not only lose a bunch of weight in the process, right here, then we got enough leverage to start lowering the calories back down. So Devin had a vacation in December of this year that he wanted to be very lean for, right? So what we did is we get him in a metabolic priming phase, got his body to start burning more calories, and we got him up to 2,700 calories. And let's kind of reference this right here. On November 26th or November 6th, right? So on November 6th, this is the transformation Devin had already made with just raising his calories to 2,700 slowly. From this to on the 6th of November, much leaner, much better digestion, and then we started to lower the calories back down, right? So over the course of time, now that Devin had more calories to work with, he was doing zero cardio, his BMR has slightly raised, his thermic effect of food has slightly raised. Now what we did for Devin is we started him at 2,700 calories, and we started slowly working him back down, reducing some body fat and increasing a little bit of cardio, right? So over the course of time, we went from 27 to 24 to 22 to 2,000 down to 1,700 before the day of he went for vacation, right? And as you can see within his progress, he continued to get leaner, right? Continued to get leaner over time. And even on the first is when we start to increase food again, right? So I'm going to give you kind of a depiction on what he looked like on the first, right? So this is what he looked like after we had raised his calories back down once again, give him a little bit more cardio, and this is the transformation he made in going from raising his calories very slowly to 2,700 and reducing cardio to getting his calories to 2,700 and start to lower calories and increase cardio. And then we had depicted that once he had got back down to a very low calorie amount, we needed to reprime his body for more fat loss. We needed to focus on solely muscle growth and to get his body to burn even more calories while at rest, which increasing his calories again, right? So now after Devin comes back from vacation, we depicted that we needed to reprime his body to get to his body to burn more food. And how we did that was we solely focused on muscle growth, right? Because in the body, when you have more muscle tissue, your body can eat more calories at rest because it takes 8 calories to sustain 1 pound of muscle tissue and 2 calories to sustain 1 pound of body fat. So having more muscle tissue will not only make him appear leaner because the body fat has less surface area to cover, but the body will be able to burn more food because it has more muscle tissue. So going back and do Devin's second metabolic priming phase, on the first, we started him at 2,000 calories, right? Cut his cardio back to 0, and we had depicted when he had got to pretty low calories, his BMR had decreased over time. So that was our depiction that we needed to cut cardio and start increasing food again to raise his metabolic rate up again, get his body to burn more food, and increase his metabolism once again, right? So over the course of time, from January 1st, we started to slowly raise his calories again, right? So on January 1st, we started to slowly raise his cardio, raise his food intake once again, right? And so we started to focus on solely muscle growth and strength training, and Devin started hitting new PRs in the gym. But notice this time how much leaner Devin is staying, right? So he's staying lean. So even on this date, in the beginning of February, so Devin's all the way back up to, 2,500 calories in the beginning of February and still staying lean, right? And we started to keep increasing the calories and keep increasing the calories. Even in the beginning of March, on the 11th, he's still extremely, extremely lean, but now he's eating exactly where we had got him last time at the peak of his metabolic priming phase, right? So we continue to raise his food more and more, 2,900 calories. And then April, on the 8th of April, we hit 3,000 calories, right? So go to the 4th of April. So right here, Devin is eating 3,000 calories per day, right? Keep in mind that Devin down here is eating 1,500 calories. So he's currently eating 1,500 more calories per day on the 1st of May, and he is still extremely, extremely lean, right? So we continued at this rate. So we had depicted that we're going to set his second cut date, his second fat loss phase for the 1st of May, for the beginning of May. So what our plan was to get his calories up as high as possible from where we're at in the beginning of January, to get his calories up as high as possible and keep his cardio as low as possible, so we could increase his BMR as much as possible and getting his body to burn as much calories at rest, right? So keep in mind, Devin in this photo right here is doing zero cardio, no cardio, right? And Devin in this photo right here is doing 2 hours of cardio, walking 15K steps a day. So not only is he leaner, better digestion, less inflammation, but he's eating more food, right? So over the course of time, we continue to raise Devin's food for 3,200. We got all the way up to about 3,300 calories on the 6th. So let's kind of reference the 6th right here. So Devin right here is eating 3,300 calories per day. 3,300 calories a day, 450 grams of carbohydrates per day, and he's doing no cardio, right? So referencing one, where we're at right here, so we got him all the way up to 3,300 calories per day, right? Doing no cardio. And then we decided, okay, we're going to start adding cardio and we're going to start lowering food back down slowly. And what I mean by slowly is that when you're going into cut, you want to use each iteration to go as slow as possible so you can use the most amount of leverage in your cut, right? If you go too quickly, you burn all your resources at once. So the 3 things we focused on Devin's cut was lowering food intake from 3,300 calories, raising cardio, high-intensity cardio slowly, and increasing low-intensity cardio, which is steps, right? So those are 3 resources that we used in Devin's program: increasing step count, increasing high-intensity cardio, and decreasing calories, but very slowly, right? So we know that his body doesn't accrue a bunch of inflammation, and we can also optimize his digestion health as well. And we utilize carbohydrates before and after his workout so that not only he could get good recovery, but he could also mitigate cortisol levels, mitigate stress levels, because we wanted to keep stress levels in check, right? So over the course of time from the 6th, so it's been about 6 weeks since we started Devin's cut, we've slowly lowered him from 3,000, and the last time we lowered him in calories, right here, he's at 2,600 calories right now the last time we lowered him. But this is what he looks like. 2,600 calories right here the last time Devin checked in, right? He's doing 30 minutes of cardio 4 times a week, and we have 2,600 calories to work with, and we're only doing 30 minutes of cardio 4 times a week, which means that we have tons of resources to get Devin even leaner, right? So if I kind of put this into retrospect on my graph, one, we started out with 3,300 calories with Devin, and we started to slowly lower these, right? Keep in mind, we're keeping his BMR intact. His BMR was at 3,300 calories, and his body was burning 3,300 calories at rest and staying lean. So we started to slowly raise cardio, right? And each week as he checked in, we would watch his body weight. We'd watch the way he'd look, the way he'd feel, his cortisol levels, his stress levels, how his strength was coming in the gym. and we're able to depict if we should slowly lower food or slowly raise cardio, but not do both, right? So now that Devin has came to me, he's not only eating 2,600 calories, but he's the leanest he's ever been. He's doing very light cardio, and now he's setting himself up for even a bigger cut, which means we can get Devin even leaner than he is right now, right? Which our plan for Devin is to get him, extremely, extremely shredded, but over the course of time. And we're taking it very slowly. Each week, Devin checks in with me. I ask him how he feels, how he's doing, his strength in the gym, because we want to make sure that his strength in the gym is staying intact. Because if his strength in the gym starts to go down, that's a good sign that we need a structured refeed, which a structured refeed would be more of adding carbohydrates to stimulate a little bit more, to stimulate less inflammation in the body, to get the body to recover and to make sure we keep the metabolic health intact, right? So the process that we use for Devin is a very repeatable process, the same one that we use for every single one of our clients. Reduce inflammation, increase digestion, nail macronutrients, work you up in the metabolic priming phase, get your body to burn more food at rest, lower calories back down, stay shredded for longer, stay leaner long term, right? And so now Devin not only is eating a comfortable amount per day, but he's made this insane transformation right here, right? Eating more food each day. So we break down Devin's, daily goals that I set for him, right? And here's the timeline of Devin, from going from 188 all the way to 165. And here is his body fat percentage currently as of yesterday, under 13%, body fat, eating 2,600 calories per day, from 14% body fat, eating 1,500 calories more per day, right? So when we break down Devin's full profile, the reason why he's able to see such great success is because I set him with daily goals, right? So Devin's daily goals are, 1, hit his macronutrients, right? So hitting his macronutrients as perfectly as he does, make sure we get the cognitive look, right? Because the actual, physical look that you're wanting to get in a cut comes from hitting specific macronutrients, protein, carbs, fats, right? And, when we set his daily goals, we make sure that he's hitting the correct protein for a higher thermogenic effect. We're hitting the correct fat to optimize hormone levels and digestion, and that he's getting the correct amount of carbohydrates to supply his nutrition, to supply his BMR, but to also make sure that his body is not burning down muscle tissue, preservative of muscle tissue. Because what carbohydrates do is they shuttle protein into the muscle. Carbohydrates and protein together shuttle carbohydrates into the muscle, and that's why you need both in your diet. Carbohydrates are also the mitigation of cortisol levels, so you need carbohydrates in your diet. Devin right here is eating 300 grams of carbs per day. Most of you who listen to this right now aren't even eating 100, right? Most of you who listen to this right now are probably under 2,000 calories. Devin's eating 2,650, 300 grams of carbs a day, and he looks like this from looking like this, right? But breaking down Devin's daily goals, I have him drinking a gallon and a half of water, 12K steps per day. And so we break it down very simple for him to follow within his program, making sure we have his daily goals set, and he checks in every Monday with me to see how he's doing, and I tweak his macronutrients based upon how he looks. I tweak his steps how he looks, and I tweak his cardio how he looks as well, right? So that is an in-depth breakdown of my client Devin, how to get rid of gut, how I helped Devin get rid of his gut, and an in-depth breakdown and a case study on Devin and how he made this transformation right here. So if you guys like this style of video, you like the case studies that I do, I have a ton of case studies I can kind of go over and that I'm more than happy to share with you guys, and how I get my clients from X to Z using metabolic priming. But if you guys have made it this far in the channel and you are wanting help, and you are a career-driven guy, and you are wanting help to implement my process of metabolic priming, metabolism manipulation into your life, and you're ready to eat more food, you're ready to stop starving yourself, and you're tired of fad diets that just don't work, there's going to be that link in the description. Sign up for a time for me and you to talk together. Don't wait. Don't put this off. Don't wait. Sign up for a time. We'll break down where you're at, or break down where you want to get. We'll see what's stopping you from getting there. And then if I think that I can help, I will build you out some higher level strategy, and I will show you what it would look like for you, right? And then if it's a great fit, we'll kind of sit down and see what the next steps are for you. But that is in today's video. Let me guys know how you like these videos. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing a bunch of these very soon. But that's in today's video. Thank you guys for watching.